Hello, I hope you're doing great. Today, we are going to talk about how you can create your user interface automatically or semi-automatically. Now, a couple of days ago, I published a video about using C# source generators, specifically a system name or currently named auto-generated system. It is basically a small system that will make use of C# source generators in order to create most of the layers code based on certain patterns and the models that you have already created. Now, before we continue, please remember to visit fairplaytube.bdicostarica.com, select the Buy Me a Coffee icon, and select a donation of your preference. This will help us keep the videos and products free for you, as well as fund projects such as Fairplay 2. Okay, let's continue. Let's go to Visual Studio. So you can see here is my Visual Studio, and the first thing that I am going to do is I am going to create the database objects. In this case, I want to create a CRUD for company, right? So, sorry, if I click the table here, add table, okay, company. Now the company will have a company ID. We are going to set it to be a big integer. It's going to be a primary key, okay, it's primary key. Okay, it's going to be an identity, and I am going to name the constraint. Okay, that's the company. So name. Okay, it's going to be an embarker of 50. Um, let's add things like city. Actually, no, country. Number of employees is going to be an int. And I believe that will be enough for now. Okay, now I am going to go to my data access. I am going to uh, take advantage of these EF Core Power tools to do the reverse engineer. Okay, select the database project. I click OK. So it will ask me which tables I want to create the models for, or the data access, right? And I should have it in here. So you will see that here I have company. Now I am going to copy this for a second. I'm going to go to my models, right? I am going to create a company folder, and then I am going to create a class name company model. Company model. It's going to be public. Now I am going to add all of these fields, right? Because these are the objects which are going to be These are the objects which are going to be returning the data, right? Not the entities, but the these models. Okay. Now I am going to create another class. Create company model. Public. This one won't have the ID. Okay. So I've been having some issues with Visual Studio lately. It doesn't always quickly add the usings. So I'll just copy it in there. And there it is. Now this is going to be required. This is going to be required. And yeah, I don't need it to be nullable. It will have 0. Okay. And then I can go to my services, right? And you see that here I have like application role service, application user service. Now I am going to create a company service. Company service. It's going to be a partial class, and it's going to be marked as service of entity. Okay, common, constants, entity names, and here I should have something named company. I don't have it yet, so I am going to create it. Public const string company equals name of company. Okay, so it should recognize it. Yeah, it should recognize it in a second. Let's see if it actually compiles. Okay, it compiled. Now the other thing that I am going to do is I am going to go to my server project. I am going to create the controller. So now it's going to be a controller, but it's going to be an API controller. And I am going to name it company controller. Controller of entity. Okay, it hasn't added yet. Okay, auto-generated system common custom attributes. Okay. Okay, remember this is going to be partial. This is going to be a auto-generated system. constants entity name, sorry. Okay, let's add this one. Entity names. And I should add the company, right? So there it is. Let's see, let's compile. And let's see if we have any errors in there. Okay, we do not have any errors. Now I am going to go to my client services project, and I am going to create a company client service. I create a class, I name it company client service. It's going to be again a partial class client service of entity. Okay, it's going to be for constants dot entity name dot company, right? We compile and let's verify that everything succeeds. Yeah, we have no errors. And now I am going to go to my client pages. And here I'm going to create a new folder. It has the name of the entity. And then I am going to create a file name auto-generated pages.txt on that folder. Then in here I'll create or add the actual names of the CRUD actions I want to have for that specific entity. In this case, create and list. Now the list is not implemented yet, so it will only do the create. Now I need to verify that this auto-generated pages file, you need to change the build action to C# analyzer additional file, right? And you see that as soon as I did that, the code actually, or the search generators actually created the page. Now it's not really well formatted, but it has some code in there, and it also generated everything I wanted to have in there. So let's see if this is actually working. Now there's something I need to do first because I created the table, but I didn't publish it into the database. So I'll do a schema compare to my local database, my local test database, auto-generated system. Okay, I'll compare. So we wait a couple of seconds. I'll publish this to my local database. Okay, let me just compile again. Now there is currently one issue I have with the client pages. Since I am in the case of the client pages, I am actually copying the files to the source, so the user can later modify them if needed, right? So you can run it, right? Do this how to generate it, and then just add anything in here so the string doesn't match, right? So kind of a comment or something like that, right? Or just delete the item in there, or just delete the file, and then manually modify the Razor and the Razor CS file that is beneath it. Now, since I am copying or creating the files manually in the UI, um, it seems that they do not participate correctly in the build process, so you need to compile twice after they are generated, right? It's I believe it's a small price to pay, and hopefully there is a way to find that I am researching. However, um, it's a good start for creating the initial bits of a maintenance quickly without writing a lot of boilerplate code or code that will have the same pattern mostly, right? So let me run the application and let's go to Chrome. Give me a second and let me see. You don't see my Chrome window yet, right? So let's see. Okay, now you should see my Chrome window. Um, if I go here to generated system and I go to Swagger, you will see that I have these endpoints created, get all company and create company, right? Let's just test this one. Okay, see that it doesn't work yet because I haven't registered the company service, which was automatically created, right? So I'll go to my controllers project, I'll go to program.cs, and I'll register that service, builder.services.add transient company service, right? I'll rebuild this. And now before I forget, I'll do something else. I'll go to my, um, sorry, I didn't show my Visual Studio. Um, so what I did is I went to the um, server project, program.cs, and then I moved to the company service, right? Or I add the company service registered into the services, right? For dependency injection. Now the other thing that I need to do is I'll go to the client project program dot no client project share page, right? My navigation menu item, my navigation menu, and I am going to do something like, or I'm going to add the company routes. So I don't have company routes yet, so I'll create a class, public static class company routes, public const string create equals and this is just so I don't have to hard code this in here. Okay, let me compile. Now give me a second to go to Chrome. We'll do the get company again just to verify. Now I won't return any company because I haven't inserted any company yet, right? But I got an okay result. Now if I do create company, we have an issue in here. Let's see why. Well, I haven't registered the company client service yet, right? So I'll go back to Visual Studio. I'll go to the program.cs. builder services add transient company client service, and see that this company client services does not have anything manually or visible by default, right? But the code is in there. And let's see, let's add a breakpoint in here. Yes. Okay. Now let's go back to Chrome in a second and we'll go to that page. Let's go to the create company. Okay, we have the company, test company, UK, submit. And if I go back to Visual Studio, you see that I am in this breakpoint of the razor.cs, right? Now, if I do F11, if I step into, you will see that it says this operation is not supported, enable to read document, right? And it tells you the location, right? Company client service.cs. And let's see if I can open that file. Client services incremental generator. Let's see. Generated. And yeah, I do not have it set to generate, but for this one I actually do have it, I believe. So you see that here we have this company controller.cs and we have this create company. So should be able to go in here when I press F5, and you see that it actually reached this code, because in this project I actually have the emit, I manually set it so it emit the files, right? So you see it goes to map the entity, right? Now there is an error in here, and let's see why we got that error. Um, Response does not indicate. Oh, I know why. That is because I forgot a really important part of the process, configuring the Automapper. So I'll do a create map from create company model to company. Then create map from company model to company, and a create map from company to company model. Because as you can see, for example, in here, I am using the map for converting the create company model to a company, right? And then the result from company to a company model, right? So let's see, create company, test company, then mark 34, submit. Okay, let's go to Visual Studio. We will do the map. It did the map. Okay, now it's going to create the entity. It actually created it, and it's going to return me the model. And you will see that the system shows me that the process actually succeeded. So this is a way to kind of automatically create most of your application code using C# source generators. And as you can see, it actually it really speeds up your development because you do not have to write a lot of the boilerplate code or the code that is going to be pretty much the same except for the name of the entities. And one of the cool things that this allows is that since the code is automatically generated, your pattern keeps being consistent in most of your code, right? Um, because even if you even in teams when you have like coding standards and things like that, um, when you get new developers or some developers at some point, actually most developers at some point tend to forget the coding style and the coding patterns and all that, right? And you will see a lot of differences in the way they write the code, right? However, since this code is automatically generated, the pattern will be the same in all cases because there is no manual input, at least initially, right? So it's really good to use it, right? Thank you very much and hope this video has been useful. Have a great day.